So what the Packers have done, because the initial proposal was caca, okay? The initial proposal was embarrassing. Whoever put that together, it's almost like you deliberately came up with a bad proposal so you could go back to the drawing board. It's like the one time my mom made me cut the grass. I did such a bad job, she never asked me to cut the grass again. So I feel like that's the person, like whoever was told to write that rule did such a bad job that they'll never be asked to write a rule again, because taking away the ability to immediately push the person that receives the snap, that was going to create inconsistency. It was going to create allegations that the game is rigged because out comes the flag. Was it immediate? Was it? No. They needed something else. So the something else was, and I feel bad because I kind of put this idea out there for Sean McVay, and I don't know, they probably would have thought of it anyway, but it's like, okay, if the problem is pushing, why don't you just get rid of pushing? Like, this comes from a rule change that was made in 2006 to allow pushing the runner. And the reason they did that is because the officials never called assisting the runner for pushing or pulling.
Right.
You know the last time that was called, Chris? The 1991 playoffs between the Bills and the Chiefs. It was called against Tim Grunhard. In January of 1992, assisting the runner has not been called for 33 years. And it wasn't called for pushing, so they got rid of it. And now they're going to ban all pushing. So what's going to happen is I think we'll see a perfunctory flag or two now that pushing of all sorts is illegal within the confines of the NFL rulebook. But we'll go back to where we were, where they just won't call it. They just won't, the Bills are the worst offenders when it comes to pulling the runner.
Yeah, they are.
And I wrote about that. You see it. It's plain as day. And they never call it. And I asked the league about it during the playoffs. Are you going to start calling it? Well, we don't call it, so we're not going to start calling it now because we haven't called it. So we can't call it now. So why the hell is it in the rule book? So that's what's funny. At a time when they should have taken the ban on pulling out of the rule book, they put the ban on pushing back in the rule book. Not that they care about what happens down the field. This was their cover for taking away, or at least thinking they were taking away, the Eagles' signature play. Because the Eagles are still going to do it, and they're going to do it even harder.
Well, can we play the guys? Can we in the back? Can we play the clip of the tush-pushers again, especially that first play against the Rams? And like you talk about, usually, when the league wants to make a point, they over-officiate it and really make an example. This right here, rewind it. Are they going to call that a push? You know what I mean? Like, Goddard's hands went on Hurts, but he didn't really push him. Right, but is that what they're going to do?
Well, you won't put Goddard there. You won't put Goddard there.
I know
anymore.
they won't be there, but I'm just saying, even in the middle of the field, like, are they going to be that over-officious?
They would call that.
Yeah, they would call that. Yeah, they probably will. Right. But that's
Chris,
what you got to use to, but they won't line them up there, like you said.
They'll call it if it happens in that setting. When it happens down the field, they won't call it in time. It'll go back to the way it was prior to 2006 because the officials weren't calling it. But, yeah, they just won't have those sidecar players back there.
Yeah,
It'll look different before the snap. At the snap, it's not going to be any different. So, you know what it actually does? It frees up Goddard to go line up in his usual spot.
Right.
And when they realize, oh, shit, they're still doing it, then Goddard's wide open. Goddard's wide open for the touchdown pass. So it actually could help the Eagles to not have to burn three guys in those spots. We're still running our quarterback sneak. We're going to move our guys out wide, and you can either cover them with some of your resources or not. It's up to you.
Yeah, they're going to have to find, maybe a few checks and balances to keep people honest, whatever it may be. But still, again, like we've talked about a million times, the beauty of the play is the fact that they got the biggest humans in the NFL on their front line, and the way they do it and come off the ball has seemed unstoppable. And I would say that's the danger of the play, but we're not really addressing that. We're addressing the tush and the push and all of that. And this is still going to be a part of the league, and the Eagles are still going to do it. And like you said, they're just going to line up a different way. And I'll be happy to watch it all happen, unfold in front of us on Thursday night, game opener, Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles.
And look, we might be in the minority here, but I still think that our mindset is going to be not uncommon. And that the Eagles are actually going to attract fans. They're going to seem sympathetic, like the Saints were when they were persecuted by the league, and the league went too far with the bounty because everybody was doing it.
Yeah,
but the Saints became the victim of an overly aggressive effort. And I remember the moment where I realized they were just flat out lying about what Bobby McCray said on the tape that NFL Films found. and even with the Deflategate stuff, I don't want to start you down there, but there were some people who it made the Patriots more sympathetic. So,
yeah, right. I hear you.
All that's left to be said. Fly, Eagles, fly.
On the road to victory. Tush, baby, tush. On the way to victory.
So, part of me wants at least 9 owners to say, I was watching those 2 idiots this morning, and they finally made a good point. Why are we doing this?
Right.
But the bigger part of me wants them to just, what they say when your enemy's basically dancing on the edge of the cliff, don't help.
Yeah.
And not that they're the enemy, but on this they are, because they're going to do something bad for the game that sets a bad precedent that we are opposed to. But you know what? Go ahead and do it, because what comes next will be a hell of a lot more fun. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.